Okay, so we look at Max Payne 3 at 21/9. Rockstar know how to make games. I know the Max Payne series isn't on the same level as GTA or Red Dead, however it doesn't mean that any less attention to detail was given to it, and it means Max Payne 3 is it is the best game of its kind. Now before I go on, let's go through the 21/9 support first. So Rockstar isn't known for its PC support. In fact, GTA 5 was its first truly good PC game ever, really. And that took years for it to come out anyway, so yes, it does mean this game has its problems. So it does support 21/9 natively, but with issues. So natively, the gameplay does scale to the sides of the screen correctly, showing more in the extra screen space. However, the HUD elements lock to 4:3, though luckily are so minimal it's not a real bother. What is a huge issue are the cutscenes and loading screens, which the game, because it seems to think you are on a triple monitor setup, only shows you a slit in the middle of the screen and gives you gigantic black bars on the sides. Furthermore, the menus all cram their elements into the center of the screen, overlapping each other, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It is still usable on a controller or with arrow keys, but yeah, it needs fixing. Luckily, a fix exists. The fix is very easy, massive thanks to Jack Fuste for the effort he put into making it. I'll link to the mod download in the description. You want to just download it, then start the game. Once you get to the main menu, tab out and run the downloaded exe file. Then tab back to the game and it will work perfectly. Again, I'll put steps in the description too. Once the modding is done, all cutscenes are now correctly rendered at 21/9, with the menus as well no longer crammed into the center, but spread out over the sides of the screen nicely. The HUD shifts to the edges of the screen as well, though I won't deny I actually would like it to remain in the center as it was extremely unobtrusive there, and provided the little bit of info I needed for my health status. However, having it on the sides does mean you have a gorgeously uninhibited view of the world. Unfortunately, even with the mod, the sniper still looks broken with gaping holes on the left and right hand sides. However, the screen effects in both the native and modded versions use the entire screen space correctly. Now finally, the one thing that doesn't work well in the modded game is the pre-rendered cutscenes. Apart from the fact that they look terrible compared to natively playing, they are zoomed to fill the screen, only emphasizing their lack of quality and also cutting off significant amounts of the top and bottom of the image. I should note, I did get some pop-in issues specifically in the swamp level, however I got no other similar issues in any other level, so luckily it seems to be an isolated incident. Performance-wise, it runs beautifully. I'm on a GTX 980 Ti and can run at 95 FPS in every moment at ultra everything settings without stuttering or other issues, and only drop to the 80s in the most intense scenes. It being a 2011 game, it's obviously aged enough now that people can run it on pretty much any setup well. But that's not to say the game doesn't look beautiful. Because Rockstar puts in massive detail into their games, every element has been attended to. The levels are full of objects, quality textures, extremely accurate hitboxes, world destruction, weapon animation, and, well, all animations, such as the way Max interacts with any object when diving in slow motion. They've all been crafted so beautifully. A brilliant way to see this is when you pause in game, you can move the analog sticks to move the camera whilst everything in game is frozen, and you can see the way the pistol slide moves and each individual shell flies out, and all the debris breaking is perfectly frozen in time. I really love this feature, and you can get epic photo moments. Each detail continues to extend throughout the game. It's full of dry humor with Max's extremely pessimistic outlook on life, with beautiful locations and extremely well created gameplay that can't be matched in what it is trying to do. Now that is not to say the game is perfect, not at all, and the problem lies within the fact that it's a completely linear game where the gameplay does get repetitive. You wouldn't want to try and complete the game in one sitting, you would just be completely bored. Especially as the story is actually pretty damn long. What I do, however, is pop back in every so often. The game provides a fantastic feeling of being an action hero, and even something like GTA 5 with Michael's slow-mo ability, which is an exact copy of this, it doesn't match up to the way this plays. Obviously GTA 5 has a lot more to offer, but just imagine Michael's abilities used for an entire game and you'll understand what this is. It's great fun, but don't try and force too much at once, as you'll find it repetitive and be bored. Now, another issue with this on a PC port level, Rockstar's DRM social account thing has caused a lot of angst in the past for me, though it is working as intended now and it's not on the level of Windows Live from GTA 4 at all, but it still has its special moments of making me frustrated. Also, Rockstar, in their brilliance, made it impossible to skip the opening cutscene of the game when you first play it, and this is unreal annoying when you've already played the game and don't want to sit through it, as it is so long. Also, on the point of waiting, cutscenes need a lot of watching before you can skip them. You usually have to watch the majority of one before the skip button appears, otherwise it just tells you it's still loading. Again, this is frustrating when you've played the whole thing before and just want to plow through the action instead. On a side note, sadly the game is dead multiplayer-wise. I found these two other people online and yeah, just watched one kill the other over and over for a while before realizing, yep, no one else is playing. But the story is where the game excels, so I'm not that fussed. So yeah, if you're going to play this game, and you can easily pick this up for ridiculously cheap now, you will have a blast. It might be tempting to not bother with the mod, as watching the cutscene black bars slide away to reveal the full 21:9 gameplay does look awesome, but it is most definitely worth a few seconds to tab out and run the exe when you first start the game each time. I should point out that there is another fix for the game, an alternative to the one I'm using, but I couldn't get it working, so whilst I'll link to the forum page where the two fixes are, at this point in time I'd stick with the one I've covered. I'm going to give this game a WideAsFcuk score of 4 with the mod. It provides a very solid ultra-wide experience, only falling down in pre-rendered cutscenes. I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21:9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21:9, head over to my channel. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description. See you later.
Fabiana. Even if the man who employed me was dead, his wife was still out there. Maybe she could be saved. Maybe some good would... Picking the photo from the broken fragments, something caught my eye.